Hey everyone, today I'll be talking to you about molecular biology, which is an understated field of science. So what is molecular biology? It is the study of molecular processes such as replication, transcription, and translation of DNA in cells, and it is also the study of cell functions. Two interesting articles on this subject would be Voici l'animal le plus humain jamais créé and Maladie d'Alzheimer, bientôt un nouveau vaccin, both from Futura Science. Voici l'animal le plus humain jamais créé was written by Céline Deluzarche, a journalist at Futura Science, and the main focus of this article is the replication of human cells inside of an animal's body. It is done by aligning the growth of human cells and animal cells at the fetal state with enzymes. So it basically takes animal cells and human cells at their most basic state, which is the fetal state, and allow them both to grow up at the same time in the same environment. By doing so, they create animal-human chimeras, which are animal-human hybrids, and chimeras usually survive for about a week with only 0.01% to 0.001% of human cells consisting their bodies, after which their bodies reject the human cells and they die. However, the University of Buffalo in New York managed to create a chimera that lived on for 17 days with about 4% of human cells consisting its body. It should be noted that the experiment didn't take end because the animal's health was declining, but rather for ethical purposes. What would be the usage of such hybrids? Well, human cells fabricated in a laboratory don't react the same way as human cells in a living organism. By creating such hybrids, we can study how diseases act on human cells without endangering a living person, and we get a more concrete and more realistic response from the cells since they are in a living organism. Cells that are replicated in an animal could be used to replace damaged tissues on a person. Three critical thinking questions you might ask yourself after reading this article. Well, first, who is the best person to consult after reading this article? It would be an expert, such as a professor, or more precisely a biology professor, that could give you more insight as to how it is possible that human cells can be replicated in an animal's body. What is another perspective or point of view? Well, there is an ethical perspective that should be reflected upon, as they are using living animals that can feel pain, and that should be treated in a humane way whilst allowing the experiment to continue. What are the strengths and weaknesses of the article? Well, the article provides the information in a concise way, which is quite direct to the reader. It is easy to understand, but in doing so, it doesn't allow a full comprehension of the subject. The second article, Maladie d'Alzheimer, bientôt un nouveau vaccin, was written by Julie Kern, a scientific redactor at Futura Science. And the main focus of this article is to describe an innovative vaccine for Alzheimer's disease. It's a disease that should be looked upon, as the World Alzheimer Report predicts that by 2050, 150 million people will be living with Alzheimer's disease. Unlike other vaccines, it immunizes the patient against the amyloid plaques and the tau proteins that are both responsible for the disease in only one injection. The amyloid plaques, shown in orange on the right image, are aggregates of proteins, so they're mass of proteins that interfere with the connection between neurons. So they basically cause traffic between the neurons. The tau proteins reside in the neurons themselves. It is their entanglement that destabilizes the structure of the neurons and causes them to eventually die. The vaccine itself works by inducing a higher production of antibodies specific to tau proteins and amyloid plaques. The rise in concentration of antibodies reduces the number of amyloid plaques and the numbers of diseased neurons, therefore rendering the brain healthy over time. What about dementia? It should be known that Alzheimer is a specific brain disease that accounts for 60 to 80% of dementia cases. The study done on mouses for the vaccine showed that there was no improvements in their cognitive behavior. This could be due to the fact that the mouses have a natural aggressive behavior, or it only shows that there is still work to be done to have an effective vaccine. Three critical thinking questions you might ask yourself after reading this article would be: who benefits from it? Well, people that have been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease and their families, as they can get more information on how the vaccines work. Where can we get more information? On the net. Studies on Alzheimer's disease are getting more and more frequent and appear more and more on the net. And when will the information benefit our society? Well, it'll benefit our society when the vaccine will be ready and start being sold, as right now it is in its testing phase. But as soon as it starts being sold, people can get information on how the vaccine works and what is its effects on the body. To conclude, we can say that molecular biology is a domain that will keep getting more and more relevant, and its usefulness will keep getting bigger and bigger. And we could end on a quote from Carl Sagan, a renowned biologist, that said, somewhere something incredible is waiting to be known, and I think that applies for molecular biology. So thank you for listening, and if you have any questions, let me know.